Hi, and welcome to the Leadership Boardroom. My name is Oscar de Weijer, and I've spent the last 33 years across multiple industries ranging from textiles to aviation to timber, always in the front line of sales and business development from the sales front line, developing teams. But my view was always, how do I help develop my customers? If I could add value and create better value for them by buying from me, it would defend the margins that I needed to make. So that was my approach. It was not just a sales job to sell stuff. It was, how could I help them make better decisions in their businesses and use timber more efficiently and get better yields out of the products. My area of specialization, what I really enjoy is strategy development, which really covers industry and competitor analysis. It requires in-depth insight into the organizations that I work with. I come with a strategy background, so I'm very strategic in the way I think and what I do, and it's really about setting organizations up for success, trying to change them, trying to help them understand the continuous moving landscape in the industry. I've become what is potentially known as a business strategist and an organizational architect. It's a great space to work in, and it's a lovely process to go through with clients and watch the changes that they realize can happen just by having a different set of lenses looking at their business, not somebody that's stuck inside the business. It helps them get their head out of the business and give them insights and opportunities and ideas that they potentially never had. So there's a medical term called normalized pain. Now, to understand that, it's if you break a leg and you have a plate in your leg and a bunch of pins, that's painful when it starts up, but you do have pain for the rest of your life. But it becomes normalized, you're used to it, it's part of what you understand about your body. The same happens in businesses. Yes, we get up in the morning, go to work, and it's same slog every day, and there's certain pains that are in your business which you become tolerant of, and you actually live with them because it's become normalized pain. That's business. The fact is, it doesn't have to be. You really need to understand that a business can be moved forward and accelerate at a rate that wasn't possible, but you got to figure out the pain. And in business, the analogy I use is that, again, you have to remove friction. As long as there's friction in a system, resistance in a system, things slow down. You need to free up the friction, free up the bottlenecks. The world around us is moving so quickly, and it does, and we as organizations or individuals are not moving at the same pace or faster. We will be going backwards. So this forces a rate of change in organizations that often creates a pressure and unawareness of what's going on. And when people are growing business and trying to run businesses, they spend more and more time tinkering inside the business, being involved in operational matters, than actually taking time out and thinking strategically. And that's where we'd like to help. There's a saying that says, form follows function. And what I find most interesting is that organizations that have already been formed and have a structure often struggle to figure out how they need to function because they work within a structure that they now have. And that's part of the understanding, is how does an organization need to function? How do you change things around? How do you reinvent yourself? How do you see yourself competing in an industry where you're pretty much competing on price because you're selling the same product or service? And that's the art of value creation, and how one transforms businesses by doing business model innovation and rethinking your service offering, how you go to market, how you need to function, and very much how you need to lead and invest in your team and people. To achieve organizational success, there has to be individual success as well as team success. And that leans largely on competencies, which is people's ability to do the job they're there for, and also their capacity, which is the number of people you have that are competent. And it's the leader's role to determine what that has to be. And in order to develop capacity and competency, as a leader, you're a teacher, whether you like it or not. You have to teach people what they need to know. The most important thing is get to understand your business really well, your competitors really well, and figure out a way to reinvent your business, create more value, and have less competition by getting into non-competitive areas where more margins are possible. Organizational structures as we know them, the classic pyramid, the hierarchy, is flawed in a way because it's a top-down dictatorship typically, and I've been in organizations and I've seen toxic systems that don't work well because of that. The leader's role in an organization, they do have the most responsibility, they do earn the most money. That should tell you that they have the biggest responsibility. So the concept I look at in terms of servant leadership is flipping that pyramid upside down, giving the leader the load-bearing position at the bottom of the pyramid and leading upwards from the bottom, making sure that his or her team is actually set up for success to serve their team, and that team serves the next team until you get to the client-facing frontline. That's a very different way of looking at leadership, and it does fall in line with servant leadership. As a leader, you have to demonstrate leadership, you have to share knowledge at a rate that others don't normally do, and you really have to invest time in talent. Not human resources, I call it talent. Select the right talent, get them in the door, and then work with them. But certainly the positioning and the role of a leader in your own mind will play a role in how you work with people and how you lead people and actually uplift them, which is what you need to be doing. People do not typically take enough time out to develop strategy and to think, having the end in mind, which is organizational success. So you've got to go all the way back to the beginning and say, right, how do we do this, and analyze the business. And there are great tools and game boards that can be used, and the idea is to teach you how to use those tools without having to go back 30 years or study 2 degrees. It's really a toolbox that we can provide and assist with that just somehow turns the lights on and brings a logic to sometimes, random chaos when things are just busy. You're always reacting to things, you're not being proactive and initiating things. It's survival more than thriving. That's the aim of what we'd like to do, is to facilitate that process and take people on a journey that they quite quickly become exposed to the strategies that are available, as well as the leadership that are available to assist them on their journey. So if you're struggling with any of those type of issues and just need some eyes on your business or some outside help, that is our product and our service offering. Is we allow you high-level consultants in a very different way that has been done previously. And I'd really like to encourage you, once you've looked through all the video material and the background on the Leadership Boardroom, is to contact us and see if there is some synergy and ways that we could perhaps assist in your business development.